The BMW X1 is the brand's smallest crossover, subcompact luxury vehicle that, like many of its direct competitors, is more of a tall hatchback than an SUV. For 2023, the all-new X1 gives it a more outspoken SUV look, growing 1.7 inches taller, 1.7 inches longer, and 0.9 inches wider. Beyond the dimensional shift, BMW designers have tweaked the X1's body, giving the roofline and hood a more upright look which, along with the brand's new, larger grille styling, cuts a more defined profile and looks cut from the same fabric as the larger one. X3 and X5, the new BMW X1 joins a long list of new models released this year by the Bavarian automaker. A few days ago, the third-generation X1, along with the first X1 electric SUV, was finally revealed. Visually, the three X1 models are quite similar, with slight differences between them. But when it comes to the powertrain, things take another turn. The X1 is a fully electric SUV with a range of 438 kilometers, while the X130e is a plug-in hybrid with a WLTP-rated EV range of 89 kilometers. Naturally, the X1 eDrive 23i is powered by a 4-cylinder petrol unit. Under the new strut body, the X1 remains very much the same as before. There was one version at launch, the X1 eDrive 28i, which translates to an all-wheel drive example powered by a turbocharged 2.0-liter i4 engine. BMW has overhauled the engine, changing it to run on the Miller combustion cycle via port and direct fuel injection. Power increases to 241 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, from 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet, and is sent to all four wheels via a new electronically actuated 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. The M Sport models grow a paddle shifter from behind the wheel for manual gear selection, and there's even a Sport Boost function that pulls the left paddle for more than a second, turning all powertrain and chassis settings to maximum attack, sportiest mode for the fastest possible acceleration. Helping the SUV's new position are standard 18-inch alloy wheels, and for the first time, a 20-inch option is available on the M Sport package. BMW also revised the X1's strut-type suspension up front, increasing the caster angle by 15% in search of a better steering feel and better road tracking. The multi-link rear suspension separates the springs and dampers, a move BMW says improves axle packaging and thus opens up more interior and cargo space. The sportier version of the M Sport lowers the 0.6-inch suspension and adopts a faster steering ratio, along with frequency-selective dampers. The techification doesn't end there. BMW offers a phone option as a digital key, as well as a new digital identity that users can set their BMW ID with system preferences, seat memory, on-screen shortcuts and navigation settings via the BMW app. Enter the car with the BMW ID on your phone, and the car will adjust every predefined parameter to your liking. As usual, a number of safety features have been incorporated into the X1, including standard forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, parking sensors and blind spot monitoring. The optional driving assistant professional feature will bring enhanced adaptive cruise control functionality, including a self-driving lane guard assistant and the ability to stop the BMW completely and accelerate again in traffic. Hands-free driving will even be possible in heavy traffic on the highway, as long as the X1 stays below 40 miles per hour. As big as a revision to the exterior, the X1 sees major changes on the inside, adopting a higher seating position to match the taller body and a new large, smoothly curved touchscreen and a cluster of digital gauges that coalesce to dominate the dashboard. The look is set between boisterous interior materials and textures, with the assumed orange model as pictured here sporting a criss-cross pattern speaker grille, flashes of chrome around the unusual center air vent, as well as outboard vents, and striped plastic trim on the console. Center, stitched leather, and more. In addition to luxury equipment and extra power, a more defined body shape and styling will help the X1 emerge from the shadows of the small luxury SUV segment. Considering how some of its main competitors remain small, hatchback-ish things, like the Mercedes-Benz GLA class and Audi Q3, the X1's rectilinear, more SUV-like outfits make it more in line with offerings like the Mercedes GLB class and Range Rover Evoque. When moving to BMW's eDrive 8 operating system, the X1 ditched the older eDrive control knob on the center console in favor of an all-touch and all-sound control interface. In fact, the X1 lost almost all of its physical dashboard buttons, whereas the previous X1 provided users with knobs and buttons for, say, radio presets, HVAC controls, and the like. The only buttons this version 2023 is clear on are those on the steering wheel. Door panels are for window and lock controls, and light controls to the left of the steering wheel. A floating cantilever panel in front of the center armrest offers a neat housing for the ignition button, joystick gear selector, parking brake and flasher button, and a large volume control wheel. Everything else is handled on a 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster display and a 10.7-inch touchscreen. The new BMW X1 offers a full spectrum of drive systems supported by state-of-the-art power unit technology and a strong commitment to electrification. The petrol and diesel engines are all members of the BMW Group's new modular generation efficient dynamics engine, with 48 volts, second generation, mild hybrid technology ensuring highly responsive power delivery and increased efficiency. Meanwhile, local emission-free driving pleasure is provided by the 5th generation BMW eDrive technology installed in the all-electric BMW X1 and the plug-in hybrid variant of the compact sports activity vehicle.